Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here. And with some of them, I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires. In giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal Law number 64. The order of creation. The beginning of law carries all the way through, and that which comes or begins first is conceived in spirit, grows in the mental, and manifests in the material. First it was the means and source or manner by which the powers that be made the centralization for making known to the children of men and children of God the directing forces or powers. Man eventually turned this into that channel for destructive forces. While man developed in this direction for many centuries, humans are leaning toward light. We are reaching toward the critical point of more in the light than in darkness.
Okay, so this is another one where I feel like banging my head on the desk. It's a little bit hard to digest. It's referring to the creation and manifestation of spirit, and I kind of find it a little bit problematic when it talks about life, because we have multiple life forms, including plant life, animal life, all of which sustain human life. And if they weren't there before us, we would not have been able to have survived, certainly this far. So when we look at the quote, it says, first it was the means and source of manner. We're talking about the order of creation. First it was the means and source or manner by which the powers that made the centralization for making known to the children of men and the children of God the directing forces or powers. Okay. So we're talking about manifestation, I think, here. And I would go a little bit further and say it sounds a bit like we're talking about the higher powers, the angels, light beings, and so forth, that carried the knowledge on how to manifest, and this was revealed to humanity. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, your feedback is welcome. So I think that's why they make references to basically God's creations and children, whereby they can learn to use the universal energy, aka also known as powers, and direct them towards the manifestation processes or goal achievement and this kind of thing. And then, of course, it gets into the bit of man eventually turned this into a channel for destructive forces. While man developed in this direction for many centuries, humans are leaning towards the light. We're reaching toward the critical point of more in the light than in darkness. That whole passage, by the way, is I interpret to be judgment. Okay, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying I'm not convinced that's a divine channeling. To me, that is about judgment. I mean, I don't think any of us would disagree that man did turn their manifestation abilities into destructive forces. We're talking about since this stuff would have been written, that they have developed weapons of warfare and the nuclear bomb and all the rest of it, completely obviously destructive and harmful for many innocent people. And then I question, well, are humans leaning back towards the light? Because at the time that this stuff was written, I would say the published material that we're looking at now probably does come from, not from Annie Besant, the one in the US whose name escapes me at the moment. I probably should go and Google her again. But it comes from her, and I think those teachings were post-World War I and before World War II. And I would imagine after World War I that people were hoping, okay, we're through the worst of the nasty stuff. There'll never be another world war, and we're all going to live through love and light again. Excuse me while I cough. Because remember, if it's been written down, a person has been involved in this, okay? So I sort of read that as hopeful and wishful thinking back then. And I would also say that, as a human being, that back in probably year 2000, 2001, 2002, I also thought that we as humans, as a species or whatever, we were all moving towards the light. Actually, you can have a good laugh about this. I'll tell you something else I thought round about those days as well. But nowadays, I think I'm probably more grounded and realistic that there's been so many unenlightened decisions by leadership made since year 2000 that I'm not convinced as a species we are, unless we all, this might be the beauty of the internet and the global reach to actually raise the awareness and the consciousness of people on the planet, Maybe we are coming back into that now. I'd like to think we are, but I thought that we were. Look, in year 2000, okay, so I'll go to this. In year 2000, because it had been quite a shake-up for people. There were people that thought the world was going to come to an end as we came into the 21st century. You probably can't imagine this now if you're younger, but there was definitely an element to that. And in year 2000, 2001, 2002, people were making a lot of lifestyle changes and choosing to shift away from the negative of the past. And they were looking forward to the future. A lot of people were actually exploring their spirituality. Certainly I fall into this group, and consciously trying to make decisions that were more humanitarian. And I think actually, in fairness, a lot of where we've gone since then is actually because of 911, because that seemed to throw everybody back. The world has never been the same since, because, of course, what happens in the US affects everybody. A lot of US citizens may not be aware of this, so I'm not going to go into the politics of this. I'll just mention that, yes, we're all impacted by what has happened with 9/11 as far as having our privileges and rights retracted a bit. But anyway, where I'm going with this is I would say around about 2002, I had speculated that by 2020, and certainly here we are in 2024, that nobody would be lying to anybody because we would all know the truth. I thought everybody was going to have their at least third eye open and be able to get that point of recognition where, why lie to somebody? Because if they can see right through you and see you, I'm thinking letters, BS. If they can see that you're BSing, then why would you bother trying? We would be in a world where everybody was at least honest, open, and transparent with each other. And clearly, that's not the case. Clearly, we now, since then, have the highest rates of narcissism. There's been some really nasty drugs that people take that impact on their mental processing and all of this kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm just going off on a tangent here. Let me check my notes to see what else I could add to this. I think I would just add to it in as far as saying, look, I do believe that everything is conceived in spirit form first. If we refer to spirit as being energy, because everything is actually, God, this could be debatable as well. If we talk about the divine idea, that's energy, a thought, right? Now, the other thing is thoughts are energy, and I know certainly with the channel, when I look at some of the work that I'm planning and some of the ideas that I have for the channel, I can see other channels popping up with those same ideas. And that to me actually feeds my understanding or supports my understanding that the divine idea is sent out by obviously the powers that don't have bodies. If they've got a good idea that they want to have acted on, they will throw that idea into the universe ethers, if you like, and somebody will pick up on the idea and implement it. And that's basically called a divine manifestation. One of those ideas, so that and I have started on it, but I haven't gone as far yet as I could do, is actually the idea of putting up content on how to assist people to connect with their guardian angel on a practical level. That's the other thing, actually. Back in, I would say 2000, 2001, 2002, everybody was getting into Reiki. They were getting into energy healing. Most people were managing to connect quite well with their angels and being able to feel fulfilled. And then something has happened in between those years and where we are currently 20 years down the track. And those of us that did manage to connect with our angels, we are still, we'll have conversations with each other. I spoke to somebody not that long ago, and she said, yeah, because I said, have you ever noticed life is cyclical? I said, it seems to be people getting into Reiki or they're getting into tarot, and it's like alternate years or whatever. And I think for right now, the idea of predictions and tarot is probably on the back foot, because the bottom line is life is so uncertain, the energy is so uncertain, predictions have no reliability about them. And, well, I don't consider they do at the moment. But you can still use tarot for tools of enhancement. Anyway, I'm totally waffling off on a different tangent again. So getting back to it, I suppose we could say that everything is conceived in spirit first, but I don't think it necessarily relates to everything revolves around humankind or mankind or womankind. But as usual, I'm interested in what you've got to say. Let me know what you've got, or what your thoughts are. Please do leave a comment. All right, take care. I'll speak to you on the next video. Bye bye for now.